2023 has been such an amazing year for me, and I've gotten the opportunity to shoot so many different things. So today I just want to go through some of my favorite shots and kind of break them down, because some of them I really enjoyed the project and I love the shot, and some of them I spent a lot of time lighting or I like the way it looks. So let's break it down. So shot number one is actually for a spec advertisement I shot. I believe it was in March, and it was for Under Armour, and here it is. We got super duper lucky and I was able to shoot it in a college stadium, which is just fire. The reason I like this shot so much is there wasn't a whole lot of setup. Obviously we had this insane location, but I love the idea that this shot kind of ties the whole video together. And I have the video posted on my channel, also a whole behind the scenes of it. I just love that it ties everything together. I also really think it's a dynamic shot because we shot it on a gimbal and I pushed in, and it took us so many tries. And even if you notice in the final edit, there's still a little bit of shake because I tried using warp stabilizer, and this was a while ago. So I don't think it was as good, but still one of my favorite shots I've ever done. Another reason I really like it is because it shows off this insane location. It shows off the stadium and the fact that no one else is there except, you know, the talent. I mean, obviously we're there, but in the video it looks like it's just him grinding by himself. One of my second favorite shots is this one. The reason I like it so much is because this is my first time shooting on Anamorphic. And if you don't know what that is, the footage is shot in a squeezed format and then you de-squeeze it in post-production, but it allows these awesome flares, which is what you see in the corner. And so, I don't know, I kind of felt like a real cinematographer using an anamorphic lens because you always dream about it. So it was just such an amazing experience, and I just love the way the flares look. We also spent quite a bit of time lighting it, that way we'd get the drama and the harsh lighting and the flares. Overall, such a fun project, and there's a ton of bangers from there. But that one I just love so much because it shows the logo and it just amazing flare. The third and fourth shot, they're actually two separate projects for the same person. We'll break down each of them. They're two completely different shots. The shot from the first project is this. The reason I like this one so much is because it is not what we planned on at all. We had planned on doing this certain shot and having the light only hit him right here, but we just couldn't get it. So I decided, let's just pull out the wide angle lens, shoot up close, we'll light the background and him, but kind of separate it. And I think it turned out so good. I also really like the framing because I feel like the tip of the house kind of is in line with where he's standing. And just having the dark around him, it just makes it so ominous, you don't know what's happening. And so I think the reason I love this shot so much is because I feel like with the framing, the composition, and the lighting, it helps the whole thing just come together and create kind of a cool, weird vibe. The second shot is this one. And there's a couple reasons, honestly, I love this one. First of all, I love the way it looks. I love just the whole thing about it. Having it lit differently and having a push in and all of that. Another reason is because this was the first time that we had actually come together and had a dolly. And overall, you know, it was definitely a bit of a learning curve, trying to dampen everything. Obviously, it was not the best. We didn't have a Dana dolly or something crazy. And it was just cool being able to get shots that usually you can't achieve unless you have a gimbal. And then again, it's super duper tough. Not only did we have a 35mm DZO Vespid cinema lens, which is what that was shot on, but we also had a probe lens. Here's a couple shots with the probe lens. They aren't necessarily my favorite because it's a very tough lens to use, and we definitely underestimated that on how difficult it would be. But again, it was awesome to learn and awesome to use. The final thing that's just the cherry on top about this shot is that instead of, you know, using a spotlight attachment to 500-watt light or whatever, we literally just had a flashlight, and Antonio, the director, was just holding it at the wall, and we just ran with it. Moving on to shot number 5. Honestly, there's nothing really crazy about this shot. I just love the overall feel of it. You see this kid, he's in the gym by himself. You see the light coming in and it kind of looks like an older gym. You hear the jump rope hitting, and I think I just love that it all comes together to kind of tell this story that he's by himself working hard. And usually, honestly, I don't use natural sound because it doesn't pick up very well, but that was one of the times where I feel like the jump rope hitting the floor was just absolutely perfect. So this is shot number 6. This one is definitely a different shot. It's my first one that was in black and white, and usually I don't shoot in black and white because I love focusing on colors, but I decided that I'm gonna do kind of a black and white grayscale film emulation. absolutely love the shot, but the project again was so fun because we planned it in a day. We had this idea, didn't work out, so we ended up all the way over here, and that's just how it ended up. If you're confused what you're seeing, we actually brought a projector, a couch, and we shined the projector onto the side of a bridge. The director, Antonio, and I were heavily inspired by the movie La Haine, so that's actually what's on the projector, let alone, that's kind of why I graded it in black and white and created this whole video that was French and matched that vibe. This one again, I love because the composition, the lighting, I feel like everything kind of came together to just provide a wild shot that you wouldn't normally see. And here's the final shot. The material and what's in the shot kind of carries it, because obviously a lot of people don't see down the barrel of a gun, nor do you want to be there. So the shot, I feel like, hits very hard. Also, knowing that it's a police makes it hit, you know, a little harder, because that means you were doing something bad. And the idea of having it be a slow shutter is, in a moment like that where there's so much tension and adrenaline, I feel like if that really did happen, you know, it kind of happened in slow motion. But moving along with the shot, this was the first time that I had worked with all these people, like the director Antonio, my friend Marcel and Jake, and just everyone all came together to create such an insane project. And I think without that, I wouldn't have shot so many of the things I did this year. That was some of my favorite shots this year. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Hopefully you learned something. I didn't want to get too technical. However, in the future, I plan on doing more of like a lighting setup or a breakdown of how we achieved a certain shot. But yeah, I'm really excited to go into 2024, and who knows what we'll be filming then. Thank you all for watching, and expect more from me in 2024.